as we continue on, Jason, look good, brother. Okay. Okay, Jason.
We all knew about Diddy's famous white parties that happened yearly with all the elite entertainment faces present. What many of us didn't know is that the white parties were just a front and the real freak-offs that started after 2 a.m. In the wake of his trial, the jurors got to see raw and unedited footage from Diddy's freak-offs, and the details are worse than the hood could have imagined. Let's get popping. Jurors get insider videos of the freak-offs. Diddy's trial is heating up in Manhattan's federal courthouse, where jury selection is getting real. The process started on May 5th with a whopping 100 potential jurors, but by May 7th, the pool had shrunk to 45 after some got dismissed for being too familiar with the case or showing bias. The judge was getting down to business, asking potential jurors some tough questions about their views on hip-hop culture, law enforcement, and experiences with sexual assault. Some of them had to spill the tea about knowing about that 2016 hotel surveillance video allegedly showing Combs getting turned up and assaulting Cassie. One potential juror, an HBO employee, got dismissed because they had ties to the company that produced a documentary about Combs. The jury selection process is expected to wrap up on May 8th, and then its own opening statements are set for May 12th. Judge Aaron Subramanian is keeping it real, overseeing the proceedings and making sure everything stays on track. Y'all been hearing about these freak-offs in all the court documents and news reports about Diddy, but what exactly were these functions? According to a 14-page federal indictment that dropped in September 2024, freak-offs were described as elaborate and produced intimate performances orchestrated by Diddy, often involving multiple commercial prostitutes, drugs, including ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, and hidden cameras. These weren't your average turn-ups. They allegedly went down in private spots like Diddy's mansions or hotels, and sometimes lasted for days on end. The indictment suggests that Diddy used coercion and drugs to make sure everyone played their part, with recordings supposedly used as leverage for blackmail purposes. One particularly sketchy aspect of the allegations involves the potential filming of these events. Posts on X from 2024 claim that hidden cameras in Diddy's cribs captured compromising footage of high-profile guests. One post mentioned a former bodyguard claiming politicians were recorded at these events. But these posts don't have backup from credible sources, so we gotta take them with a grain of salt. The most concrete evidence that's come out so far is the surveillance video showing Diddy physically beating Cassie Ventura in a Los Angeles hotel hallway. This footage, which CNN got their hands on and published in May 2024, shows Diddy hitting, kicking, and dragging Ventura. Judge Subramanian ruled on April 25th, 2025, that the video is a fair and accurate depiction, shutting down Diddy's defense claims that it was manipulated or edited. Beyond this, prosecutors have indicated they plan to present freak-off videos as evidence in Diddy's trial. On April 25th, 2025, Assistant U.S. Attorney Madison Smizer argued that these videos, described as containing explicit content, should be sealed to prevent public access due to their sensitive nature. U.S. District Judge Aaron Subramanian asked for legal justifications for sealing but hasn't made a final ruling on whether the public or press can access them. Adding more context to what these freak-off parties allegedly entailed, court documents and lawsuits describe them as events involving coerced intimate acts, drugs, and other illicit activities. A former employee, Philip Pines, claimed in a lawsuit that he was tasked with setting up rooms for these events, dubbed Wild King Nights, with items like red lights, alcohol, weed, intimate toys, and baby oil.
Alcohol, marijuana, ketamine, baby oil, and Astroglide were very important. Candles, incense. Obviously, there was, male libido supplements, stuff like that.
The nature of these parties has led to widespread speculation about which celebrities might have been in attendance. While many high-profile individuals showed up at Diddy's public white parties over the years, the question of who may have participated in the more private freak-offs remains largely unanswered. Several celebrities have been mentioned in connection to Diddy's parties, either through attendance at white parties, alleged presence at freak-offs, or legal filings. However, it's crucial to remember that just because someone was at a party doesn't mean they were involved in criminal activity, and most celebrities have denied wrongdoing or distanced themselves from Diddy. Leonardo DiCaprio, for instance, attended Diddy's white parties, including a notable 1998 event in the Hamptons where he was described as a priority guest. Photos of him at these events have been circulating all over. However, a source close to DiCaprio told media outlets that he hasn't had any contact with Diddy since 1998 and wasn't involved in either freak-offs or related legal issues. Jay-Z and Beyonce also attended Diddy's white parties, with reports of them dropping new music at these events. A now amended lawsuit filed by Ashley Parham in 2025 initially alleged that Jay-Z and Beyonce witnessed a freak-off. However, the references to them were removed from the lawsuit, and no charges or evidence have been presented against them. Jennifer Lopez, Diddy's ex from 1999 to 2001, attended multiple white parties and was involved in that infamous 1999 shooting incident with Diddy at a nightclub. Her name appears on viral social media lists speculating about freak-off attendees. However, J.Lo hasn't been named in any lawsuits related to the freak-offs and has kept quiet on the matter. Usher, who lived with Diddy in the 1990s as a teenager and attended his parties, has also been the subject of mad speculation. In a 2016 interview on The Howard Stern Show, he described witnessing wild activities at Diddy's residence but denied seeing orgies. His name appears on viral Diddy lists and in a lawsuit by Lil Rod naming him as part of Diddy's inner circle. Ashton Kutcher, who co-hosted a white party with Diddy in 2009 and talked about their friendship in a 2019 Hot Ones interview, saying he had stories he can't tell, has also been mentioned in social media speculation. A source told people that Kutcher has no involvement in Diddy's legal issues and only saw him at documented social events. The only celebrities directly named as defendants in a lawsuit are Odell Beckham Jr. and Drusky, who were named in an amended lawsuit filed by Ashley Parham in March 2025, alleging they participated in a 2018 gang rape involving Diddy. Both have denied the allegations, with Beckham stating on X that he wasn't in Orinda, California, where the alleged assault took place, and has never engaged in such behavior. Justin Bieber, who was mentored by Diddy and pulled up to his parties, has also been the subject of speculation. A 2009 video of Diddy spending 48 hours with a 15-year-old Bieber has raised eyebrows. Bieber's spokesperson stated he's focusing on his family and not the allegations. He hasn't been named in lawsuits or charged. Numerous other celebrities have been mentioned in connection to Diddy's parties, including Paris Hilton, Mariah Carey, Kim Kardashian, Howard Stern, Aretha Franklin, Martha Stewart, Nick Cannon, Tommy Lee, and Pamela Anderson. However, no lawsuits or credible reports implicate them in freak-offs. Photos from a 2004 Miami party show Will Smith, Bruce Willis, Diana Ross, and Owen Wilson at a Diddy event described as a freak-off, but no evidence suggests they stayed for the after-hours activities. It's mad important to note that most celebrities linked to the freak-offs are associated through attendance at Diddy's public white parties, which were widely covered and attended by hundreds of high-profile individuals. The transition to private freak-offs involved a smaller select group, and no public evidence confirms which celebrities, if any, participated in or witnessed illegal activities. The viral Diddy list circulating on social media, which supposedly names celebrities who attended these parties, lacks verification and should be treated with skepticism. Many of the individuals named have either denied involvement or not commented on the allegations. What's particularly interesting is the legal strategy being employed by attorney Tony Busby, who is representing many of the accusers. Busby has reportedly sent demand letters to A-list celebrities who attended Diddy's parties, pressuring them to settle out of court or face lawsuits. Busby argues that attendees who witnessed wrongdoing and remained silent could be held accountable, even if they didn't directly participate in illegal acts. This approach has raised concerns about overreach, as just being at a party doesn't make you criminally liable. Busby's claims about celebrities scrubbing their social media are unverified and might be exaggerated to get more public attention. Everything that led to Diddy's explosive trial. The whole saga popped off for real on November 16, 2023, when Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex and R&B singer, filed a civil lawsuit in federal court. Her accusations were straight up shocking. Years of abuse, including intimate maltreatment, misconduct, and physical beatdowns over their decade-long relationship from 2007 to 2018. The wildest part? She alleged Diddy forced her to participate in what they called freak-offs, drug-fueled intimate performances involving multiple people. Though this lawsuit was settled on the low the very next day for an undisclosed bag, it blew the lid off what would become a tsunami of similar accusations from others. In the months that followed, 4 more women stepped up and filed civil lawsuits against Diddy, alleging various forms of intimate misconduct. Among these was a particularly disturbing claim filed on December 6th, accusing Diddy and 2 others of gang raping a 17-year-old shorty in a New York recording studio back in 2003. Throughout this initial wave of accusations, Diddy kept maintaining his innocence, stating on Instagram, "I did not do any of the awful things being alleged," and vowing to fight for his name. But the damage to his image was already substantial, with Macy's pulling his Sean John clothing line and Diddy stepping down as chairman of Revolt TV due to the growing backlash. The situation got even more heated in February 2024 when Rodney Lil Rod Jones Jr., a producer who worked on Diddy's 2023 album, The Love Album Off the Grid, filed another lawsuit in Manhattan federal court. Lil Rod claimed Diddy forced himself on him, forced him to hire escorts, and tried to groom him for intimacy with another man. He even alleged that Diddy harassed his family, including his 8-year-old daughter, trying to intimidate him into keeping his mouth shut. But the real turning point in this story came on March 25th, 2024, when the Department of Homeland Security ran up in Diddy's cribs in Los Angeles, New York, and Miami as part of a federal misconduct investigation. Federal agents seized electronics, including computers and weapons. These raids cranked up the public and media scrutiny to a whole new level, suggesting that law enforcement wasn't playing games and was taking the allegations seriously enough to pursue a criminal investigation. What came next was perhaps the most damning piece of evidence in the court of public opinion. On May 17, 2024, CNN dropped that 2016 hotel surveillance footage showing Diddy violently assaulting Cassie Ventura in a Los Angeles hotel hallway, backing up parts of her 2023 lawsuit. The video, which showed Diddy kicking, pushing, and dragging Ventura, was impossible to deny. In response, Diddy issued a public apology on Instagram saying, "My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted." But Ventura's attorney, Meredith Firetog, called the apology cap, noting that Diddy only apologized after his denials were exposed as fraudulent by the video evidence. Everything hit the fan on September 16, 2024, when Diddy got pinched at a Manhattan hotel by federal agents. The charges were heavy: 3 felony counts, including racketeering conspiracy, intimate misconduct by force, and transportation to engage in prostitution. The indictment, unsealed the next day, painted a disturbing picture. It alleged that Diddy ran a criminal enterprise through his business empire, including Bad Boy Entertainment, from 2008 to the present, engaging in intimate misconduct, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. According to the feds, Diddy coerced women into these freak-offs, recorded the acts as insurance, and used drugs, money, and threats to make sure everyone stayed in line. The seriousness of the case was highlighted when Diddy was denied bail twice by federal judges, who said he was a serious flight risk and might try to intimidate witnesses. Prosecutors even claimed he violated jail rules at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn by trying to reach out to witnesses. As the legal proceedings continued, the accusations kept piling up. On October 1st, 2024, attorney Tony Busby announced he was representing 120 accusers planning to file lawsuits against Diddy for intimate maltreatment and violence spanning from 1991 to 2024. The accusers included 60 men and 60 women, with 25 alleged to be minors at the time, the youngest reportedly just 9 years old. Busby claimed to have receipts, including photos, videos, and texts. Throughout October and into the end of 2024, multiple new lawsuits were filed against Diddy. On December 12th, 3 men alleged intimate misconduct, including one claiming Diddy violated him while others filmed, offering $2,500 afterward. On December 20th, 2 women claimed they were drugged and assaulted in 1991 and 2006. The legal avalanche continued into 2025, with additional lawsuits emerging under New York's Gender Motivated Violence Act, GMVA, which allowed expired claims until March 1st, 2025. By February 27th, over 40 lawsuits were on the books, including one from a male escort alleging assault and threats that referenced Tupac Shakur's death. Finally, on May 5th, 2025, jury selection began for Diddy's federal trial in New York under Judge Arun Subramanian. The trial focuses on 5 charges: racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of intimate misconduct, transportation to engage in prostitution, and conspiracy to engage in prostitution. If convicted, Diddy is looking at a minimum of 15 years and could get life in prison. As of now, Diddy remains locked up at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, described as overcrowded and violent, waiting for his trial to continue. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges and still maintains his innocence through his legal team. But perhaps the most striking aspect of this scandal isn't just who might have been involved, it's the deafening silence from Hollywood in response to these allegations. Why Hollywood staying quiet as hell? One of the wildest aspects of the Diddy scandal has been the relative silence from Hollywood's elite. Despite the severity of the allegations and the high-profile nature of the case, barely any celebrities have publicly condemned Diddy or the behavior described in the lawsuits and indictment. This silence hits different compared to other recent scandals, where public condemnation from peers was swift and decisive. So why everyone keeping their mouths shut in this case? Let's look at who's spoken up, who hasn't, and what this might tell us about how the entertainment industry responds when one of their big dogs gets caught up. Among the few who've been vocal about Diddy's legal troubles is 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson. The rapper has used social media to clown Diddy and comment on the allegations. After Diddy got locked up, he posted on Instagram alongside Drew Barrymore, referencing the seizure of more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant from Diddy's cribs. In a recent exclusive interview, 50 Cent broke down the Diddy situation.
Speaking of, in particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Diddy Do It.
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle, you weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations, I didn't tell people to say these things.
50 Cent continued to express how he wasn't feeling Diddy's party culture.
But I did feel uncomfortable with the way you represent the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah, and then that swayed me away from it, just that alone.
Aubrey O'Day, a former member of Danity Kane, a group created by Diddy on making the band, has also been a longtime critic of Diddy. After his arrest, she appeared to react via her Instagram story saying, "The purpose of justice is to provide an ending and allow us the space to create a new chapter." O'Day has previously called out Diddy for predatory behavior and has supported the legal actions against him. Journalist and former ESPN host Jemele Hill posted on X after Diddy's arrest, focusing on the impact on black women who were allegedly victimized. She wrote, "I know everybody is going to get these jokes off about Diddy, and by extension R. Kelly, but think of the numerous black women whose lives were ruined by these horrendous people. The narrative is not, another black man got taken down, because this ain't got us to do with black men as a whole. The narrative is, thank God these women are finally getting the justice they deserve." Dawn Richard, a former member of Danity Kane and Diddy Dirty Money, filed a lawsuit against Diddy for intimate maltreatment and dropped a statement through her attorney, Lisa Bloom, after his arrest. The statement read, "We applaud the grand jury's new indictment of Sean Combs, which is strikingly similar to the federal complaint we filed last week on behalf of our brave client, Dawn Richard. Given the brutal beating of Sean Combs' girlfriend caught on video and the 8 people who have now accused him of abuse in court filings, including Dawn, this arrest seems long overdue." Journalist and talk show host Megyn Kelly has called out celebrities like Usher and Ashton Kutcher for their silence following Diddy's arrest. While not directly involved in Diddy's circle, Kelly's criticism of those who've kept quiet implies disapproval of Diddy's alleged actions and the lack of accountability from his associates. But beyond these few voices, many celebrities linked to Diddy have either stayed silent or simply distanced themselves without explicitly condemning his alleged actions. Some celebrities have publicly distanced themselves from the scandal, which could be interpreted as low-key rejecting Diddy's alleged actions. Ashton Kutcher, known to have attended Diddy's parties, has distanced himself from the allegations, with reports indicating he denies any involvement in wrongdoing. His silence on the matter has been noted, but he hasn't publicly supported Diddy. Leonardo DiCaprio, a frequent attendee of Diddy's white parties, has also distanced himself, with sources emphasizing he has no connection to the alleged criminal activities. Kevin Hart has similarly separated himself from the scandal, denying any involvement in the allegations. Damon Dash clarified on Instagram Live that he only attended one of Diddy's parties 20 years ago with Aaliyah, denying further involvement and implicitly distancing himself from the current allegations. Meek Mill has denied rumors of personal involvement with Diddy, particularly rejecting speculations about an intimate relationship, which could be seen as distancing himself from the scandal. However, many celebrities connected to Diddy, such as Jay-Z, Beyonce, Jennifer Lopez, Justin Bieber, and Kim Kardashian, haven't said a word publicly about the allegations. This silence has sparked criticism on social media, with some interpreting it as complicity or avoidance. During his interview, 50 Cent also commented on the allegations against Jay-Z and his notable silence during the Diddy scandal.
What are your thoughts on the allegations against Jay-Z?
That was interesting. When I was saying things not knowing exactly what I was saying, but I was going, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet. Like while the Puffy thing was going on. But it's obvious now that his team was being made aware that he was in those allegations also. So I hope it works out, because with his family, the things that go on internally is that those accusations are crazy.
Jay-Z has denied allegations against himself in a lawsuit accusing him of assault alongside Diddy, but hasn't broadly condemned Diddy's actions. Usher and Pink deleted their X posts amid the scandal, which some speculated was an attempt to avoid association, though neither has made a public statement condemning Diddy. Flavor Flav explicitly stated he has no opinion on Diddy when asked, avoiding condemnation or support. So why is Hollywood keeping it so 100 with this wall of silence? There are several possible explanations. First, the entertainment industry's response has been cautious, likely due to legal concerns, personal relationships, or fear of catching strays. Many celebrities who attended Diddy's parties, like his white parties, haven't been implicated in criminal activity, and their silence might reflect a desire to avoid getting caught up rather than co-signing his actions. Second, some celebrities might be waiting for the legal process to play out before they speak on it. Diddy has pleaded not guilty to all charges, and his trial is still ongoing. Making definitive statements before a verdict drops could be seen as jumping the gun. Third, Third, there might be complex power dynamics at work. Diddy has been a major figure in the music industry for decades, with extensive connections and influence. Speaking out against someone of his stature could potentially mess up your bag with professional consequences. Fourth, there's the possibility that some celebrities are concerned about their own involvement or behavior. If they were at parties where sketchy activities went down, even if they weren't directly involved, they might prefer to stay quiet rather than draw attention to themselves. Fifth, social and cultural factors might influence how people respond to allegations. Research suggests that when allegations involve prominent figures or complex power dynamics, people often respond with skepticism or ambivalence, especially when the accusations challenge their existing views of the accused. What's particularly interesting is how the focus has shifted in some of the commentary from those who have spoken out. Public figures like Jameel Hill and Dawn Richard have centered their comments on supporting the alleged victims, particularly black women, rather than just coming at Diddy. This framing suggests a broader condemnation of the systemic issues enabling such scandals. As the case progresses, more celebrities might start speaking up, particularly if new evidence or verdicts emerge. But for now, the silence from many of Hollywood's elite speaks volumes about how the entertainment industry responds to serious allegations against one of their own. The Diddy case raises important questions about accountability, power, and silence in the face of serious allegations. It reminds us that in Hollywood, as in other industries, the response to accusations of misconduct is often shaped by complex factors beyond the simple question of guilt or innocence. As this case continues to unfold, we'll be watching closely to see who speaks out, who remains silent, and what this tells us about the entertainment industry's willingness to face uncomfortable truths. Remember that viral clip of Diddy patting down Justin Bieber for a wire? Turns out he had good reason to be paranoid. An old party footage found by the authorities means Justin Bieber might be set to testify in Diddy's trial. Now, we all know Justin Bieber is aware of Diddy's little situation. Honestly, who isn't at this point? As for J-Lo, well, let's just say she might have more than just a cameo in this courtroom drama. But what dirt do the authorities have on her and Bieber to make them spill the beans? Find out in this video. Diddy's relationship with Justin Bieber and Jennifer Lopez. A footage from a party in 2000 showing Sean Diddy Combs in bed with Jennifer Lopez, Aaliyah, and Damon Dash has reappeared online. The footage was shot during Diddy's 4th of July celebration in East Hampton, New York. In the video, Diddy is seen wearing a red shirt and white pants next to Lopez, who is in light blue, and Aaliyah dressed in white. Two others are also in the frame. This old clip has recently gone viral, gathering 50 million views, 250,000 likes, and 25,000 shares. Another photo from the same event, which includes Jay-Z, has also resurfaced, sparking discussions about the extravagant nature of Diddy's parties. These discussions include his famous white party and rumored wild activities. The timing of these resurfacing pictures is concerning. This is because just 6 months before this party, in December 1999, Diddy and Lopez were involved in a serious incident. They, along with Diddy's bodyguard and rapper Shine, were implicated in a nightclub shooting in Manhattan that resulted in 3 injuries. During a police chase following the incident, a stolen gun was found in their vehicle. Diddy and Lopez were arrested, but Lopez was immediately cleared of charges. Diddy, along with Jones and Shine, were charged with gun possession. The prosecution alleged that Diddy and Jones offered their driver $50,000 to claim responsibility for the gun. After a lengthy trial, Diddy and Jones were acquitted. However, Shine was found guilty of gun possession and assault, among other charges, although he was not convicted of attempted murder. He served almost 9 years in prison. Interestingly, no one was convicted for the actual shooting. After his release, Shine expressed in interviews his disbelief about Diddy calling a witness to testify against him. This witness, Sharice Myers, was present at Club New York during a shooting incident. She testified that during the chaos, she fell on Diddy and stated that he did not have a gun. Although her statement supported Diddy, it implicated Shine as the shooter. Shine's lawyers claimed he fired in self-defense. Shine felt her testimony damaged his case by portraying him as reckless, which helped the prosecution.
This woman was the most damaging witness of any witness. She was worse than the prosecution's witness. Right. Which destroyed me because the prosecution is saying I'm this belligerent, reckless, OK corralled fella. Right. And then my co-defendant is saying the same thing? That was it.
However, when asked, Diddy denied influencing anyone to harm Shine's defense.
I did not force anybody or tell anybody to say anything that would damage or hurt Shine's case. I just wouldn't do that. That would not be my intent whatsoever. And that's all I'm really going to say about the matter, not to get into any negative back and forth.
Additionally, Shine faced another issue because his legal expenses were being paid by Diddy's record label Bad Boy. He felt this was a conflict of interest, and he felt betrayed upon discovering this, especially especially since he was already concerned about how his lawyers were managing his case. Natanya Rubin, a victim of the shooting incident, claims Diddy was the shooter. In a recent interview, she mentioned she's ready to undergo surgery to remove a bullet fragment from her face to help reopen the investigation. Rubin witnessed the event closely and still carries 9 bullet fragments in her face. She has shared her story consistently. Jennifer Lopez may be asked to testify due to her previous relationship with Diddy and her presence at the nightclub where the shooting occurred. The case gained renewed attention in February 2024 when Rodney Lil Rod Jones Jr. filed a $30 million lawsuit against Diddy. Lil Rod accused him of sexual assault and harassment. Lil Rod also alleged that Diddy flaunted his guns and boasted about previous shootings, which some believe refers back to the 1999 incident. New York attorney Pete Gleason stated that Jennifer Lopez was present during the shooting incident and left the scene in the same car as Diddy, making her an important witness. Should there be any ongoing legal actions related to this event, Lopez might be asked to testify, which could pose complications for her. Additionally, Lopez could be summoned to testify in a lawsuit against Diddy, filed by April Lampros, a former Fashion Institute of Technology student. Lampros alleges that Diddy sexually assaulted her multiple times during the period he was dating Lopez. Gleason suggests that Lopez's testimony could play a significant role in this case. People are curious about whether federal prosecutors are contacting celebrities like Justin Bieber or if Homeland Security is involved. They are also asking if the focus is only on women who might have been involved or those who have filed lawsuits. Federal prosecutors can legally require Justin Bieber to appear in court and testify, even if he has signed non-disclosure agreements. Recently, videos have emerged on social media platforms like TikTok and Twitter showing Diddy following his arrest for racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. He is accused of sex trafficking involving his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, with allegations going back to 2008. Diddy has denied the charges, but a video released by CNN appears to show him attacking Cassie as she attempts to escape him. Additionally, there's a trending video on YouTube showing Diddy with a young Justin Bieber, promising him a car for his 16th birthday. Bieber spent 2 days with Diddy, who said he was in charge of him during that time. Diddy explained that although he once had a role similar to a legal guardian for Usher when Usher started his music career, he didn't actually have that role for Bieber. He said that Bieber would be under his guidance for those 48 hours.
You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So
at this early point in his career, Bieber, who was about to release his first album, was officially signed with Usher, who had been mentored by Diddy when he was young. Usher's early experiences in the music industry involved staying with Diddy for a year when he was just 13, a time he later referred to as being in Puffy Flavor camp. During his stay, he was exposed to Diddy's extravagant and wild lifestyle, which was a lot for him to take in at his young age.
Hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
Usher said he wouldn't send his own kids to live with Diddy. Meanwhile, it's questioned why Justin Bieber was sent to stay with him at just 15 years old. A video from that time shows Bieber in a party setting, where Diddy asks him about his plans for the next 2 days. Bieber's response about getting some girls seemed typical for a teenager, but it raised concerns. Years later, in 2020, Bieber spoke in an emotional interview about wanting to shield Billie Eilish from the negative aspects of the music industry. This interview suggested he might have faced similar challenges.
Well, I just wanted to be a good example, and it was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. I just wanted to protect her,
In one video, Diddy mentioned that Bieber hadn't been in touch much. JB said it was because they didn't have each other's phone numbers.
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But you never really got my number, so.
Correct. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
Some fans find their interactions awkward. others are more concerned, especially after a video showed Diddy possibly checking if Bieber was wearing a wire. Back in 2015, Diddy presented Bieber with an American Music Award for Best Collaboration. They've also been seen together in other videos, including one from Bieber's birthday and another from 3 years ago. Recently, they collaborated on the song Moments from Diddy's album, The Love Album, Off the Grid. This collaboration happened before allegations against Diddy by Cassie Ventura came to light, which he settled quickly. Following the settlement, a federal raid took place in March of this year. Amidst these events, Justin Bieber, who recently became a father, has not publicly commented on Diddy's legal issues. According to a source close to him, Bieber is aware of the allegations. However, he is choosing to focus on his family and his new role as a dad to his baby Jack, aiming to be a great father and husband. There are concerns about young artists like Usher and Bieber, who were around Diddy when they were just starting in the music industry as kids. Being around questionable behavior, even if they weren't directly involved, could have been harmful to them, given their admiration for Diddy as a mentor. The music industry can expose young artists to unique challenges, and Bieber, now older and focusing on his health and family and embracing his Christian faith, is likely looking to avoid any negative influences. While it's suggested that Bieber might have witnessed some troubling behaviors, it's thought that Usher, who was more deeply involved at the time, might have seen even more. Other than Usher and Justin Bieber, Diddy's kids might have seen or been part of these events when they were younger. In fact, 2 of his sons could even be facing possible jail time because of their involvement. Will the FBI get Diddy's kids, Justin and Christian, to snitch on him? Diddy's sons, Justin and Christian King Combs, seem to have inherited their father's tendency to get into controversies. Take, for instance, a serious incident that happened at a music event hosted by Diddy. On September 12, 2022, Diddy organized a gathering for songwriters and music producers at Chalice Recording Studio in Los Angeles. Justin and his friend, a 30-year-old known as G, were among the attendees. That night, an argument involving Diddy, Justin, and G escalated and moved into a nearby restroom. Right outside, a producer named Lil Rod was caught off guard when he suddenly heard gunshots coming from the restroom. After the gunfire stopped, a crowd formed around the bathroom. Diddy and Justin came out unharmed, but inside, G was found bleeding from injuries to his leg and hip, while everyone else seemed stunned. Lil Rod jumped into action, rushing to help G by applying pressure to his wounds to stop the bleeding. Lil Rod helped G by lifting him onto the toilet and telling the crowd to call an ambulance. He later carried G to the front of the studio, where the ambulance was waiting. By that time, Diddy and Justin had already left for another part of the building. After the incident, Diddy told everyone to lie to the police, claiming G was shot in a drive-by outside the studio. He pressured Lil Rod to stick to this false story, but Lil Rod has witnesses ready to testify in court, even though they fear Diddy. He also kept the clothes from that night still stained with G's blood, which could serve as important evidence. Photos of the restroom where the shooting happened prove G wasn't shot outside, contradicting Diddy's lie. Security at the event was poorly managed, allowing Diddy and Justin to bring guns inside without being checked. Lil Rod, deeply affected by the shooting, now suffers from PTSD, anxiety, depression, and insomnia, struggling to cope with what happened that night. Justin Combs could be in serious trouble, depending on his involvement in the shooting. If he had a gun or was directly involved, he might be charged with assault with a deadly weapon, which could mean up to 4 years in prison. Things could get worse if it's shown that Justin intended to hurt or kill someone, leading to more serious charges like attempted murder, which could result in a life sentence. If investigators find out Justin worked with others, like his father, to hide the truth or mislead the police, he could face a criminal conspiracy charge, which carries a sentence of up to 5 years. If he lied or tried to mislead the police, he could also be charged with obstruction of justice, with a sentence of up to 3 years. Ultimately, how long Justin could spend in prison depends on the charges and the court's decisions. If he's convicted of multiple charges, the sentences could add up to a longer time in prison. This isn't the first time Justin Combs and his dad Diddy have been involved in controversy. Back in June 2015, Diddy had a run-in with Sal Alosi, a UCLA assistant football coach. The issue began when Alosi gave Justin a pep talk, saying he'd be treated like any other player with no special treatment. But things escalated later when Diddy and Justin went to Alosi's office, leading to a heated argument. Diddy reportedly got so angry that he grabbed Alosi and swung a kettlebell at an intern. Diddy's team claimed he was just protecting his son, and the LA district attorney decided not to press charges. Because of that event, many weren't surprised to see Justin caught up in Lil Rod's lawsuit. Justin's not the only one in trouble. His brother, Christian Combs, could also be facing jail time. Christian is being sued for assault after an incident on a yacht during the Diddy family's winter vacation. The lawsuit involves a stewardess named Grace O'Marquet, who was in charge of taking care of the guests. According to the 31-page lawsuit, on December 28, 2022, Christian offered Grace a shot of tequila. She accepted, but the lawsuit claims things quickly went wrong. Christian allegedly became aggressive, wouldn't let her leave the sun deck, and pressured her to drink more. Grace grew concerned her drinks might have been tampered with. The situation escalated when Christian reportedly kissed and groped her without consent. Lil Rod was also present at the time of the incident. It's not clear if Christian knew he was there, but Lil Rod's presence helped confirm Grace's version of events. Lil Rod reportedly recorded part of what happened. According to the lawsuit, a transcript reveals Grace asking if she was being drugged and begging Christian to stop touching her. The lawsuit also describes an event in the yacht cinema where Christian allegedly got aggressive. He reportedly took off his clothes, grabbed Grace's arms, and tried to force her to perform oral. Grace fought back to escape. Grace's partner noticed something was wrong and stepped in, allowing her to flee the cinema. Although Grace reported the incident to the ship's captain, the lawsuit claims her complaint was ignored because Diddy allegedly paid a large amount of money to cover it up. The lawsuit shows photos of bruises on Grace's arm, which she says Christian caused during the attack. She claims the incident left her emotionally devastated and led to severe depression. Christian is facing charges of assault, battery, and assault. His father, Diddy, is also being blamed because he rented the yacht where it happened, making him responsible for what occurred on his property. It's unclear if Christian and Justin will be found guilty, but Diddy has managed to avoid serious consequences for various legal issues and controversies from the 1990s and 2000s, which the media often ignores. Let's look at some of the most controversial claims made against him. The sacrifices Diddy made that were not mentioned in the lawsuits. Diddy has been criticized for his business practices at Bad Boy Records, with allegations of financial exploitation and unfair treatment of artists. Founded in 1993, Bad Boy Records quickly became a top rap label in the 90s, signing big names like Mace, Faith Evans, 112, The Lox, and Biggie. However, some of these artists later complained about unfair pay and questionable business dealings. In 2020, after Diddy received a Grammy Industry Icon Award and called for more respect for hip-hop and black music, former Bad Boy artist Mace accused him of hypocrisy. Mace claimed that Diddy had exploited his artists, saying he was paid just $20,000 for his publishing rights in the past. When Mace later offered Diddy $2 million to buy them back, Diddy refused, alleging that Mace owed him $3 million for an undelivered album, a claim Mace denied. Mace isn't the only former Bad Boy artist speaking out about Diddy. Freddie P., a member of Diddy's group Da Band, has also voiced complaints, accusing Diddy of stifling their talent and warning that serious consequences could follow. At one point, Diddy gave back some music rights to artists and songwriters from his label, letting them reclaim ownership of their work. He says this is part of a larger effort to support black artists, hoping other labels will follow his lead. Despite this, allegations of mistreatment and exploitation continue to surround Diddy. There are even strange rumors about his behavior, like a 2017 incident where he drunkenly sang Happy Birthday to rapper Fabulous in a suggestive way. Many artists who signed with Diddy's Bad Boy label have expressed frustration and anger, claiming they were pushed into signing unfair contracts that left them struggling financially, even with their success. Some face serious issues, including jail time, trauma, or even early death. Former Bad Boy rapper Loon noticed a shift in Shine's behavior after joining the label. Shortly after signing, Shine's close friend died in a car crash, and his reaction was unusual. Later, Shine was convicted of attempted murder and other charges, leading to a 10-year prison sentence. During his time in prison, he converted to Judaism and changed his name to Moses Michael Levi Barrow. Loon himself converted to Islam in 2008 after visiting Abu Dhabi. In 2011, he was sentenced to 14 years in prison for conspiracy to traffic heroin, though many believed he was innocent. He was released in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Craig Mack was the first artist signed to Bad Boy Records, but his career didn't take off. Some say he was unlucky from the start because Diddy put more attention on Biggie Smalls and overlooked Mack. He was often mocked in hip-hop media for his appearance, and his debut album had songs that didn't connect with mainstream listeners. By 1997, Mack left the label and disappeared from the music industry. He resurfaced in 2012 in a video with a Christian group called Overcomer Ministry, which some ex-members labeled a cult. Mack passed away in 2018 at 47 from heart failure. This led to talks about a bad boy curse, as many artists who joined the label later faced hardships, including money troubles, personal struggles, or legal issues. Some even died young, with rumors of strange occurrences behind the scenes. Despite these claims, Bad Boy Records is still running, representing stars like French Montana, Janelle Monáe, and Machine Gun Kelly. Diddy has denied the accusations, saying in a Power 105.1 interview that he's only provided opportunities and fair pay. However, questions about his business practices continue. Music industry veteran Jaguar Star Wright has made claims about Diddy, suggesting a connection to the deaths of several key figures in the industry. She mentioned Andre Harrell, Heavy D, and Kim Porter, all linked to Uptown Records, who passed away unexpectedly. Andre Harrell and Heavy D both died of heart attacks, while Kim Porter, Diddy's ex, died under mysterious circumstances.
Kim is dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only two left are Puffy and Al almost died. Isn't that interesting?
Kim Porter's sudden death surprised those who knew her, and the cause remains unclear, with some speculating about what really happened. She was reportedly found at a friend's house after a 911 call, showing flu-like symptoms and possibly pneumonia. After her death, rumors soon surfaced suggesting Diddy might have been involved. R&B singer Al B, Sure, the father of Quincy Brown, hinted that Kim Porter's death might not have been due to illness, but foul play. In a now-deleted Instagram post, he suggested that Kim could have been in danger, and even advised her to contact the FBI. The Los Angeles County coroner ruled Kim Porter's death as natural, attributing it to pneumonia possibly related to the flu. Despite this, rumors and conspiracy theories have surfaced. Some people suspect that Diddy, the father of 3 of Kim's children, might have been involved. These theories claim he may have sacrificed people close to him to maintain power in the music industry, and that Kim might have known something damaging about him. In addition, Wright raises concerns about a pattern of people connected to Uptown Records, like Andre Harrell, Heavy D, and Kim Porter, who were working on tell-all books before their deaths.
You want to know what they all had in common though? They were all writing tell-all books. Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died.
There's also the case of Biggie Smalls, where rumors suggest that people close to him, including Diddy, might have been involved in his murder. At first, many thought Biggie's death was tied to gang violence because of the well-known rivalry between East Coast and West Coast rappers, which made gang members an easy target for blame. But what if someone from his inner circle played a part? The situation becomes even more complicated when you consider Biggie's close connection to Diddy. On the night of the murder, Diddy said Biggie was happy to be in New York. Some people close to Biggie claim he actually wanted to be in London, not LA, on that day, which contradicts Diddy's statement.
That's not true. Biggie didn't want to go to LA.
Kirk Burroughs, former president of Bad Boy Records, explained they were in LA for an award show because Biggie's music was nominated. Clive Davis, head of Arista Records, had planned a big marketing event for Biggie in London, with a flight scheduled for early Saturday. But on Friday night, Biggie called Diddy, who told him to cancel the trip. Although Biggie was prepared to leave, he stayed in LA. Many believe he would have gone to London if Diddy hadn't stopped him.
May not have wanted to go to London, but was talked into it. First time ever a rapper of your stature getting this treatment, that would be something he would be interested in doing, but he was easily talked out of it by Sean so that they can make an appearance at an event in LA that Saturday night.
There were warnings that more security was needed in LA, but budget problems got in the way. The money set aside for Biggie's security only covered part of his trip, and when plans changed, he didn't have enough protection. Because of this, some people think Diddy had other motives. They believe he knew things might go wrong, but still brought Biggie to LA. Burroughs agrees. He said it wasn't Biggie who wanted to stay in LA. He thinks it was Diddy who convinced him to stay, even with the warnings. There are also claims that Diddy was involved in Tupac's murder, based on accusations made by Keith D, who was arrested and charged with the crime. In an FBI interview, Keith D says Diddy offered him $1 million to kill both Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight. At first, Keith D was unsure, but he eventually agreed to kill Tupac.
The $1 million question. On all 4 of those occasions, there's San Diego, Anaheim, Irvine, and Vegas. Which ones do you actually talk to Puffy at?
Every one.
Every one of them. Which of those 4 is it when you talk to him about murdering Tupac?
It was really about both of them, either one. It was,
During the interview, Keith D recalls that Diddy said he'd give anything for their heads, and this was said in front of a room full of people, which makes the confession seem more credible.
What did you actually hear? What was the words, if the best you can remember what he says?
He said he'd give us anything for them dudes, you know? Yeah.
He'd give you anything for these guys' head?
Yeah, he said it in front of all those people. I couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying?
In Anaheim?
Yeah. Whole room full of Crips.
Keith D also claims Tupac had a confrontation with his nephew Orlando Anderson before the murder. He suggests that both Diddy's offer and the confrontation with Orlando were connected to Tupac's death. Keith D later mentions that Andre Harrell, another major figure in the music industry, was there when the hit was ordered. These claims have made fans and insiders wonder how much Diddy is really connected to these tragedies. The fact that people close to Diddy have been affected only adds to the suspicion around him. If you enjoyed this video, click on the card showing on your screen right now for more videos.